Take a deep breath. This message is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and for anyone drawn to Scorpio energy. 2026 is not a light year for Scorpio, but it is an important one. It is the kind of year that changes you from the inside out, quietly, slowly, and permanently. For many Scorpios, the years leading up to 2026 have felt heavy, emotionally intense, and at times deeply exhausting. You may have been carrying responsibilities, emotional weight, or inner battles that very few people truly understood. 2026 is not about surviving anymore. It is about reclaiming your power in a way that feels grounded, honest, and sustainable. This is a year of deep transformation, not dramatic for the outside world, but life-changing for you. Trust what resonates. Let the rest pass. The themes of Scorpio 2026. The main theme of 2026 for Scorpio is release followed by empowerment. This year asks you to confront what you have outgrown emotionally, psychologically, and energetically without forcing closure before you are ready. Unlike previous years, 2026 does not push Scorpio to endure. Instead, it invites you to step out of survival mode. Many Scorpios will notice that old emotional patterns begin to loosen their grip. Situations that once felt consuming no longer hold the same power over you. You may feel less reactive, more observant, and more aware of where your energy truly belongs. This is not emotional numbness, it is emotional maturity. Scorpio, 2026 is about choosing depth without self-sacrifice. You no longer need to prove your strength through pain. This year supports emotional clarity boundaries that are firm but calm inner authority rather than external control. You begin to understand that power does not come from intensity alone, but from self-trust. Planetary influences and inner transformation. Astrologically, 2026 activates Scorpio's relationship with transformation, truth, and long-term change. This is a year when deep inner work finally starts to show results. You may feel as if something you have been working through internally for years is finally settling. Scorpio energy thrives when it is allowed to evolve rather than remain stuck in old emotional loops. In 2026, the cosmos supports this evolution by encouraging Scorpio to let go of control where it is no longer needed. You may feel drawn to emotional healing, spiritual practices, therapy, or deep self-reflection, redefining what intimacy and trust mean to you. This is not about reopening old wounds, it is about closing them properly. Many Scorpios will feel a stronger connection to their intuition in 2026. Decisions become quieter, but more accurate. You trust your inner signals instead of external pressure. Transformation in 2026 is not explosive, it is integrative. You are not becoming someone new, you are finally becoming yourself without armor. Inner shift and identity realignment. One of the most profound changes for Scorpio in 2026 happens quietly on the level of identity. This is the year when you may begin to realize that you no longer define yourself by what you have survived, endured, or overcome. Old narratives about strength, loyalty, and emotional intensity start to soften, not because you have become weaker, but because you no longer need to carry your history as proof of your depth. You may notice moments where you pause before reacting, where silence feels more powerful than control, and where walking away feels more aligned than staying engaged. This is not detachment, it is discernment. Scorpio in 2026 learns that true power is not about holding on, but about knowing when to release without fear of losing oneself. Releasing the need for control. Another important theme in 2026 is Scorpio's evolving relationship with control. For many Scorpios, control has been a form of self-protection, developed over years of emotional intensity, unpredictability, or deep attachment. In 2026, you may feel a subtle but consistent invitation to loosen this grip, not because life becomes less intense, but because you trust yourself to navigate uncertainty without armor. This year supports learning to allow situations, relationships, and even emotions to unfold without immediately trying to manage outcomes. When Scorpio releases the need to control every detail, energy begins to move more freely. What once felt blocked starts to flow, and what once required effort begins to align naturally. This is a year where surrender does not mean loss, it means relief. Love and relationships for Scorpio. In 2026, in love and relationships, 2026 is a year of truth and emotional honesty. For Scorpios in relationships, this year asks one essential question. Is this connection aligned with who you are becoming, not who you used to be? Superficial dynamics will not survive 2026, but relationships rooted in mutual respect, emotional depth, and honesty can grow stronger than ever. You may notice that you are no longer willing to tolerate emotional manipulation, stay silent to keep peace, carry the emotional weight for two people. This shift may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is deeply liberating. For single Scorpios, 2026 opens the door to more conscious connections. You are less interested in intensity for its own sake and more drawn to emotional safety and depth. Love in 2026 is not about obsession. It is about mutual empowerment. Connections that begin this year tend to be slower, deeper, and more intentional, and that is exactly what Scorpio needs now. Career, purpose, and finances. Career and finances in 2026 are closely tied to Scorpio's sense of purpose. This is not a year for chasing status or proving worth through overwork. Instead, Scorpio is asked to align work with inner values. You may feel called to change direction, redefine success, let go of work that drains you emotionally, build something more meaningful, even if it takes time. Financially, 2026 supports long-term stability over short-term gain. Scorpio is encouraged to think strategically, patiently, and sustainably. This is a powerful year for restructuring finances, investing in skills or education, building something slowly but solidly. You begin to understand that true security comes from self-trust, not control. What to embrace and what to avoid. In 2026, what to embrace. Emotional honesty, rest without guilt, boundaries that protect your energy, slow, intentional growth. What to avoid, power struggles, emotional overinvestment, trying to control outcomes, staying where you feel depleted. Scorpio in 2026 is not meant to fight. You are meant to choose wisely where your energy goes. Letting go is not loss this year, it is liberation. Final message. Closing for Scorpio. Scorpio, 2026 is not asking you to be stronger. You already are. It is asking you to be sovereign, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. This is the year you stop surviving and start living with intention. The year you release what no longer defines you. The year you realize that your power does not come from how much you endure, but from how deeply you honor yourself. Move slowly. Trust your instincts. Your transformation is already underway. If this message resonated with you, you're welcome to stay. You can subscribe to this channel for more astrology insights and 2026 zodiac messages, only if it feels right for you. Thank you for being here.